It is one of the biggest hurdles for Israel in a potential ground war with Hamas, the tunnels nicknamed the Gaza Metro. This is a map. It's from 2014 from the BBC, and it outlines where tunnels have been identified by Israel. And then we're going to show you an updated map. It's from 2021. It's offered from the Wall Street Journal. Well, joining me now from Israel is Daphne Richman-Barak. She is a tunnel warfare expert and adjunct scholar at the Modern War Institute at West Point. Daphne, big welcome to you. I have so many questions about these tunnels because they have been described as extensive, fortified with concrete on all sides, some with various rooms. They seem to stretch in all kinds of directions. So my questions, how deep do they go? And how are they equipped for surviving IDF missiles?
Okay, thank you for having me. I know there are a lot of questions about these tunnels, and I think that, first of all, look, Hamas is a terrorist organization that has purposefully and progressively over time, very consistently built a very intricate, and you're right, a very intricate and vast network of tunnels, but also underground structures and passageways beneath the Gaza Strip, beneath the areas where the Gazan population lives, beneath schools and mosques and homes. And this has been a part of, an integral part of Hamas's strategy for a very long time. And it threatens, actually, those tunnels inside the Gaza Strip threaten, first and foremost, the Gaza population. Now, we should not confuse the tunnels that are located inside the Gaza Strip that I just spoke about with those that are at the border, which Hamas digs crossing into Israeli territory. And these are different type of tunnels. And so these tunnels would be used for, infiltrating territory. Perhaps they were used on October 7th as well. They also used to carry out attacks against civilians and soldiers and kidnappings. And so they are really a way to invade and intrude and infiltrate and carry out attacks. The ones in the Gaza Strip are somewhat different because they are there to hold or to house the entire military apparatus of Hamas. So everything you'd expect a military to possess, to have, is located in this network of tunnels, which has multiple arteries, which has been dug deeper and deeper over time. And there you can find, ammunition, you can find rocket launchers, living quarters of Hamas's leadership, command and control centers. There is pretty much everything one needs. And yes, some of them are reinforced with concrete, not all of them. And they are typically equipped with electricity, ventilation, and maybe some also basic means of transportation, like trucks with some wagons on them to transport weapons, or soil, which has been excavated to dig more tunnels.
It is absolutely extraordinary to think, because there are hundreds of miles of these underneath this small strip of land. But I'm curious with this question, could they keep hostages in them, 200 of them? And if so, for how long? Absolutely.
This is the Gaza Strip is a rather small piece of territory, but the network goes, it zigzags, and it can be built on different levels as well, underground. So the amount of kilometers or miles that it really spreads over is very difficult to assess. And this is why I'm not giving you a precise number, because I'm very careful, but it's absolutely huge. And it has, they learn from the best. They learn from Bin Laden. They learn from others who have built tunnels in contemporary warfare. And so they connect houses to their man-made tunnels and basements of homes as well. So it is very large. Could they hold the hostages inside? Absolutely. I believe this is where the hostages are being held. I believe this is also, I believe the hostages are spread over this vast network of tunnels. They're not all held in the same place. And this really complicates, as you can imagine, an already very difficult operation.
Let me ask you then, this headline from The Economist, it sums up the nature of tunnel warfare. Underground warfare is terrifying, claustrophobic, and slow. So what is first, Daphne, when preparing for this?
This is a very good headline. I'm glad you picked up on it. It's very, very accurate. Let's start with slow. It's very slow because, and this is also why people, get frustrated that the operation has not yet started. There needs to be a lot of patience in this. Tunnel warfare is a very tedious task. It's puts your forces in harm's way in ways that are unprecedented. And while tunnels will not win the war necessarily, they really definitely complicate and slow down even the most sophisticated, prepared, and trained soldiers or armies. It's claustrophobic because you lose your sense of time, of space. It's dark, it's moist. You don't know which direction you're going into, especially if there are multiple arteries and levels. And it is terrifying because even if you're prepared, tunnels, first of all, when you're above ground, they are invisible. This invisible threat in and of itself is terrifying. But when you face the prospect of facing your enemy on one-on-one, because these are narrow tunnels, as you just showed, right? So you cannot count on your unit. You can barely speak with your unit because communication is very limited underground. You barely can communicate with your unit that's above ground. And so you're alone as a soldier in it. And it is absolutely terrifying and reminiscent of medieval duels, essentially. And this is something that soldiers need to prepare for very, very specifically. And even then, again, it's very unsettling.